That's correct, it is Zelda's 25th anniversary, and to celebrate this momentous occasion, I'm going to play a little bit of some Zelda games. So let's start off with the original Legend of Zelda for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, this game originally released in February in Japan of 1986, but we'll celebrate the 25th anniversary over here because it came out August 22nd, 1987. For the Japan version, it was actually part of a disc-based peripheral. It was kind of like a floppy disk, essentially, and for the American release, they put a battery into the cartridge, which is like one of the first ever to do it, so it could record saves and whatnot, and this was a technology they used further on for Super Nintendo and all kinds of other games. So you start off, you got the little beginning text scroll thing, and you basically know your adventure. You are Link, you are going to go collect the Triforces and save Zelda from the evil Ganon. So there's the overworld and all of its 8 pixelated glory, and of course you're going to dungeons, find these Triforce pieces and fight monsters, and there's shops along the way and tons of secrets. I remember playing this back in the day and just wasting hours and hours of time with it because back then there was no internet, there was the Nintendo hotline, and there's Nintendo Power to look up strategies and whatnot, so everything was pretty much by yourself or from friends would tell you how to do it. And back then also, I didn't have a lot of cash to throw around as I was a child, so I had endless upon endless hours to invest into one video game, essentially. Jumping back in feels really great actually. I think a lot of Nintendo games don't feel as good compared to contemporary versions and whatnot, but this one, it does feel good. Everything, the button layout is very good still, the music is still fantastic, as iconic as Mario's theme. It's just a very well put together game that I think is an essential game to play for all people. It's just a very deep experience and brings a lot of nostalgia back to me. There is a solution for those who want kind of not an HD upgrade, but an upgrade of about 8 bits. Enter the Satellaview. Now, the Satellaview was a Super Nintendo attachment that was only released in Japan, and it was kind of like pre-downloadable content before there was, the whole online thing we have going on now. So basically, kids would tune in during a certain amount of hours, like for the remake of the original Zelda, and basically it was about an hour-long show. Now, in this allotted time, you tried to beat as much as you could, and while this was going on, there was live music playing and live voice acting, and it was kind of a huge immersive experience. And they never released these outside Japan, and they never released them actually as cartridges in Japan as well. So basically this game and other games were kind of lost to the ether. Now, as you saw in the beginning, I was playing as a young boy, but I switched to this Link sprite now because the only way to play this now is by pirating a ROM of it. And while I do not endorse pirating, I think it's a very essential part if you cannot get the game any other way. So it's a necessary evil at times, especially when trying to preserve and show off the rich video game history. So yes, this is the exact same game. The mod here kind of stopped the time, so it's not as, it's not difficult anymore. Plus, I kind of felt like playing as Link because, to try and make it as something as possible. But yeah, the sprite work is just beautiful compared to the 8-bit. The 8-bit has its charm, but this is a lot more accessible, I think, to a lot of people because people are still making 8 and 16-bit games, so I think the whole retro side of games is kind of coming back with the iPhone and all those ports, and as well as indie games and whatnot. So whether you turn on your Nintendo system, your Super Nintendo, go online, whatever, I suggest you play some Zelda today as well, because it's a key franchise in my life, and it should be in yours as well. And while I haven't been a fan of the recent 3D titles, I'll get into that next week when I talk about my favorite game of all time, for Zelda at least, A Link to the Past. I'm gonna end with a legitimate commercial for the original Zelda game that was on TV, and I kid you not, this is real. So, see y'all next time.
Zelda become a legend on your Nintendo Entertainment System.
Zelda! After act!
Which way to go?
Good time! Pee hands!
Lever!
Zelda! Zelda! Zelda!
The Legend of Zelda. A never-ending adventure new for your Nintendo Entertainment System.